Yeah, tough one here for the Raptors, missing some key guys, as were the Rockets. Overall, it wasn't the prettiest of basketball games. It wasn't the best of performances by the Raptors, but they kept it close. There are some positives to take away, but the biggest story that will come out of a game like this is, again, the efficiency for Scottie Barnes for the fourth game in a row. So let's break down why that's happening and how it can get fixed in tonight's post-game show. Remember, if you enjoyed to see from the content like this, I do content like this for virtually every Raptors game, so make sure you guys have hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well for more content just like it. But a 94-87 loss here. Fourth quarter actually made the scores look a lot better because Houston had 36 points in the fourth quarter. That is one more than they had in the entirety of the first half, unbelievably. The Raptors had 24 points in the fourth quarter. That's more in line with what they were doing for the entire game as a whole. Low scoring game, just not very efficient. These types of games, you miss Jakob Poeltl on kind of both end of the floor, but you also see like why his presence is pretty important on offense as well. But yeah, not a nice display of offense overall by the Raptors or the Rockets for that matter, who both shoot under 40% from the field. A lot of turnovers in this one. 15 by the Rockets. They cleaned up in the second half, and in the end, the Rockets, got enough out of the fourth quarter minutes to make the comeback and get the win. Jalen Green heated up in the fourth. Jeff Green actually also kind of heated up in the fourth, and he had 14 points. The 38-year-old not showing his age in this one at all. But the big story that will come from people for this game is the play from Scottie Barnes. Probably also Emmanuel Quickly. We'll start on him. He went 6 of 15, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. The issue is Quickly had 18 at half. I don't know what he had after the first quarter, but he had double digits after the first. After the first quarter, wasn't a great game from him. For Barnes, though, 6 of 19, 0 of 8 from 3. He did have 15 points in the end, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So if you watch the game, aside from the shooting, Barnes actually played really well. But yeah, he missed 8 threes. A couple of them came really late in the game trying to get the Raptors back in the game. But it doesn't really hide that he did not shoot the 3 ball. He didn't make one, so obviously he shot very poorly there. And the mid-range shot was just not falling. Makes the stat line points-wise look a lot better late in the game because he finally started going to the rim. It's been very frustrating watching Barnes in this stretch. It's very clear that, and stats will show it, Barnes is a lot better when he's playing next to RJ Barrett, and he's kind of got that relief of scoring a little bit. But when he's tasked as this primary scoring player for the Raptors, that's where problems have arisen. This season, there's been an over-reliance on the mid-range shot for Barnes. And I've continued to say, look, it's great, he's got it, but this isn't super sustainable, and it shouldn't be the way forward for him. The mid-range shot is kind of deserting him right now. And part of that is he's missing a lot more. And part of that is also defenses have become a lot more privy to that part of Barnes' game and are doing a better job of taking it away, playing up on him. And to combat that, you need to have a variety, a balanced shot diet, which at the moment he doesn't. He's very comfortable just coming off a screen, getting inside the three-point line, and just shooting if he's got space on a long two. The mid-range shot should be something as a distraction for your other efficient parts of your game. And where Barnes is going to be at his most efficient is getting to the rim. And for the first 43 minutes of this game, there was just an utter refusal, no matter what the matchup was from Barnes, to be aggressive and get to the rim. Late in the game, finally, he started doing it. And if he got to the rim, he was scoring a lot more. And he wasn't scoring, oftentimes he was getting fouled and going to the free throw line and getting some points there. But a guy who's this good, taking 4 free throws in a game like this, where he took 19 shots, he's got to be getting to the line more often, and the aggression and getting to the rim will allow him to get more of those free throws and more of those opportunities. So there's too much of a reliance on himself to take those shots, and from 3 as well. Part of this absolutely has to be on Barnes to be better, but part of this also has to be on the coaches have to work with this as well. He can't be green lit for this many threes. I don't think. I don't mind the threes as much. He had a really good 3-point night against the Thunder. Just today it wasn't going for him, But the mid-range stuff, like you cannot green like that. That has to be, you need maybe like 2 to 3 mid-range attempts from Barnes per game to fool defenders into thinking he's not going to the rim. Like, you need to mix it up. If you're mixing up getting to the rim a lot, then sometimes you show off the mid-range game because defense are more worried about you getting to the rim. Like, the mid-range shots is inefficient. Like, if you're shooting 42% mid-range, that's like NBA average. That's an inefficient shot, relative to taking a three, or more importantly for a guy like Barnes, getting to the rim. And we've seen him in the past. He can very clearly do it, especially against a Rockets team that just did not have rim protectors here. Everyone as a collective, coaching, Barnes, everyone, there needs to be a bigger emphasis and a better job in getting Barnes into these more efficient areas. These reps right now, like, look, even though we traded for Brandon Ingram, this team is still tanking, and Barnes' numbers, I'm sure, will look better when RJ Barrett is back in the lineup. And this is a slump. Like, I'm very high on Barnes. I think he's a fantastic player. He'll be all right. But, like, amidst this stretch, we're seeing the fragilities of relying too heavily on the mid-range game. And as a collective, that's got to be corrected. And when it is corrected, we're going to see better performances. Because other than that, like, you could see he was frustrated with his shooting here. Other than that, he was great. He was fantastic on defense today in the absence of Pirtle. Great on the glass with 9 rebounds. Great playmaking with 7 assists. We saw like he was playing very, very well. And up until the fourth quarter was positive in the plus-minus numbers. Like, it was great other than the shooting. But this is definitely what I expect to be highlighted by anybody who just surfs the box score after the game. We'll give our flowers to some other good performers here today. Walter played pretty well. He had 10 points. Good to see that for the rookie. Also got some key minutes down the stretch as Grady Dick missed the second half due to an injury. Ends the game with 0 points, unfortunately. He wasn't playing well up until that, but left the game with a neck contusion. Jamal Shed, bit of a homecoming back in Houston where he went to school. Ends up with 14 points, played really, really well. Honestly, could have maybe seen him getting more minutes even than the 19 because he played that well. But there's some positive signs here. Look, the defense held the team under 100 points. I understand that Rockets are depleted and they've lost 6 in a row. I understand that we still lost even though we held them under 100. But there's still positive things to take away from a game like this. But the biggest story, which we covered from the postgame show, is that this needs to change for Barnes. The shot diet is not sustainable for success at this level. Brandon Ingram playing will help him for sure, get some more space, and so will RJ. But if Brandon Ingram's got to be the one that takes those shots. Brandon Ingram's going to be one that occupies those spaces. And I think Barnes will naturally mold his game to adapt to playing with a guy like Ingram. But for the time being, look, it's great that Barnes is getting these first option reps. It's only going to help his game going forward to learn in these areas. But we also, along with learning, you want to learn the best habits and the best ways for these guys to be successful. The way Barnes is shaping his shot diet right now is not the best for his development, and that's on himself and coaching to make that change. We'll see in the short future if that's the case, and if it is the case, we do see changes. I imagine we'll see much better performances to go with it as well. I'm not really worried about Barnes. I'm still very high on him, but it's been a rough 4 games that people are naturally going to gravitate towards. I think he'll be okay, but I do still think that these changes need to be put into the team. So that'll do it. Gonna go enjoy the Super Bowl. Maybe you will as well. But if you enjoyed the content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll be back for the next one. 2 more games for the Raptors on Tuesday and Wednesday before the All-Star break. We will see you at those ones. Thanks so much for watching.